OMG BBG! Welcome back to another BBG Talks episode. It's been over a month since our last one, I think.
Yeah, it's been so long because, Beyblade X was coming out and then I was in Japan for a period of time and then Brendan was in Japan for a period of time and now we're both back, finally.
What do you guys think? Like, everything is out, right? It's official. Beyblade X generation is here. Burst stuff and all that is in the past, right? I guess other than Quad
Don't
Strike.
say that.
Yeah.
You tell me, because you were actually in Japan on launch day and you actually bought all the stuff on the July 15th, just a couple days ago.
Yeah, I'll make a few comments about it, I guess. So I mentioned it in the actual Beihan video that I posted on the day of. And it was exciting because I saw so many Japanese enthusiasts running to the stores, lining up early like I was to get into these department stores to buy them.
Yeah.
And they were clearing the shelves, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
In the video, there was only a lot of products in the very beginning. Like the employees were still putting it out on shelves and people were grabbing them. And as it was emptying, they would put more and it was just always empty. And there were so many people filming too. Like they were trying to post it on SNS and all this stuff on socials.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of hard actually to film a whole segment in there, hogging up all the space while people are trying to buy products.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting.
Kind of have to be nice and not get them in the video and stuff like that. Japanese culture.
Yeah, just want to be mindful, right? Not everyone wants a camera in their face. So, try to be inconspicuous and all that.
Yeah.
Still managed to buy all the stuff we needed, which is great. I was a little disappointed, I guess, because some stores did a lot of a better job at promoting the new stuff versus others. Like I mentioned, big camera in certain locations, like in Akiba, they only put up those little cards.
Yeah.
And you grab one off the shelf and then you have to bring the card to the counter and then they'll grab it for you. So it's zero promotion.
And then you went to the bigger department stores too. And it seems like the area that they house Beyblade X isn't that impressive. Well, maybe it's because it just started.
Exactly.
Maybe after the anime comes out, season 1, then you'll see it fill up.
Exactly.
Similar to when we went to Japan for Beyblade Burst back in the 2016s.
I mentioned that as well, in that video, that when we went in 2016, there was so much promotion for it, right? So many decorations and all these different things that they used to market for the brand.
Yeah.
But it made sense because the anime was already out. And it was technically at the end of season 1, kind of start of season 2.
Yeah. There was actually more. There's more products.
Yeah. And so they only really dropped maybe 8 new products, 9 new products, right? If you don't count the repeats, the recolors, there's even less, right?
Yes, for sure.
So in that sense, it makes sense that they don't have too much promotion.
I think it's a pretty standard Japanese drop.
Yeah.
But it's kind of disappointing. You guys all know that, they always talk about international launch and English, the market overseas is so important to us.
Yeah.
But there was no release outside of Japan. It's still all exclusive to Japan, which is nice because we get to go to Japan and get it. But then for the rest of the world, it's that exclusivity is not the best for a global launch for everyone to get hyped up over. So
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I called it. It's just way too big of an endeavor for them to be able to sell Takara Tomy products on the shelves of our local Toys R Us and Walmarts and stuff, They can do it, but it will require so much work in order to do it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't see it happening, especially after being in Japan on that day and seeing how little promotion there was just in certain stores there locally. I was like, dude, if they're not even putting in effort in these local stores here in Tokyo, why would they put in effort globally, right?
Yeah.
So it was kind of just a hit of reality.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to the Beyblade Burst launch, it seems like.
Yeah.
They're kind of copying the same release schedule and it just feels like they're redoing and hitting a reset button, starting from BB 01 again, and doing a lot of the similar stuff. Still a lot of innovation, definitely, but following the same schematic.
You can still see that they put in a lot of effort to market it differently though. It's definitely marketed towards older generation and stuff like that, right? It's fit for everybody. It's not fit for just kids.
But the sports thing is
sports thing's huge.
I don't know is it more of a marketing gimmick because it's a nice video, but are they gonna continue that momentum? It seems like they're collaborating with a lot of sports, I think, brands. From what I saw. But
yes, the whole gear sports thing, it didn't feel like I entered a more mature Beyblade.
Right.
Sega, you know what I mean?
They
still
have to do
Beyblade.
A bit more to convince us.
They should have put out, in my opinion, in the stores, they should have had at least a demo next to the products that they were selling.
Well, they did for brief period of time, right? Like the preview thing that they were doing.
Yeah, I visited that too actually, and I wanted to show it on camera, but that was actually even more disappointing because they had like one stadium in the middle of not even the middle, but like one small segment of the store. They had one stadium and the TV that showed the trailer, and they're like, hey, this is like your time to test it, and they gave people like a month before the launch or so, at least put a little demo stadium next to the products, like even something small like that, so that people walking by will be like, hey, let's give it a try, even if they don't know that Beyblade X was dropping that day. They're like, let's try this new product, and then I'll go to the shelf right next to it and then buy it because I enjoyed it. So I felt like it could have been executed a little bit better for sure.
I think they're definitely trying to target the more like TCG game style, the 3-on-3 deck play style and stuff like that. So maybe even like changing the merchandising to make it like in the trading card section or something like that, right? Like the more mature section could also help prove that this is like an adult-oriented sport that they're trying to go for. But I am excited. What I'm excited about is that the official tournaments are gonna include adults too.
They also announced like while I was there, like all of these different events for like those people that work a 9 to 5 and those students who like can't make it out during the day, you know, to try everything. Like they were holding like these trial events like for that specific age group, which was nice. So like they're really trying to reel in all of those older audiences, which is awesome. And they always promote on Twitter and on their website like, oh, we have like a G3 event coming up. Like, so there are tournaments, like they're running already. And they're going to have more. So it's nice to see Beyblade super competitive. But the thing is that it's always been competitive in Japan. Like it's always been North America and the Western countries and all that stuff. The Western world like doesn't see as many official tournaments. But Tokyo, like back to back to back. You know, like they've had so many. So
definitely a way different hobby culture in Japan compared to North America. And then I think that's just like society teaching you, hey, you're old, you're not supposed to buy this product. Whereas Japan is like you were saying, what, like, you just see people working their 9 to 5 in suits after work. They're like, let's go buy a gachapon.
Yeah, exactly. Right? We were just chatting about that before this video. Like I did a lot of, you know, people watching while I was there. And it was really nice to see people indulge in their hobbies and stuff. Like most of the people that were buying bays with me were also fellow adults and like guys in suits coming to pick it up. And these guys that like lined up and they're all clearly adults, and you know what I mean? It was nice to see
and that's what the Dronzer S crossover project products are for. Whereas here, I feel like no one really paid attention to that whatsoever. Even like if you look at the views of our videos of unboxing, no one cares about OG bays because once they've gone over, they're like, oh, it's nostalgic, but that's it. You know? That's the reality.
So they definitely try to market it towards a younger audience over here versus over there, especially now with X, like they're trying to market it towards a wider audience. So I hope that translates over to our market too, that they market it for like, yo, it's not just for kids and stuff. Maybe they have to start putting Beyblades in like bars or something like that, you know, like, you know what I mean? So not just Toys R Us, they have to start putting it in other locations for us to really like,
or like bookstores, I don't know.
Bookstores, like, you know,
GameStop.
Put it in like Canadian Tire or something like that. Like, I don't know. If you guys, well, you guys probably don't know what Canadian Tire is, but anyways, it's like basically like
it's like Home Depot.
Store. It's like a Home Depot basically, but in Canada.
Can you imagine seeing Beyblade X at Home Depot?
Yeah. Anyways, I digress. You sent me a post on Twitter, I remember, of Beyblade X being advertised in subways, like on the train stations and stuff. Like that should have been in bigger stations. Like I had to search and see like where that was.
See, that's the thing is too, like they promote it at Koro Koro Festival, right? Which is amazing because that's where all the audiences are. But like, what about the adults section? Like where is the festival for that audience, right? So you can see they're like kind of flippy flopping. It's like, oh, like, should we do it? Like we'll do a little bit of it. That's it.
So you still advertise at a toy fair. But you didn't advertise it that hard. Like
at like a game fair. Or
like anything. And I think the biggest flop is not putting the train advertisements, like the train station advertisements, in a bigger station. Like it was like pretty far out.
It was only at the one at the to go to Tokyo big site. I think that they only put it at that spot.
Like, which is a popular spot, but then you have places like Akiba and all that have like so many anime enthusiasts like going there every single day. By the way, like when we were there, it's just tourists everywhere. Like legit tourists as far as you can see.
Yeah.
And so they're visiting those spots 24/7. And like you need to grab all of those guys coming to Tokyo too, right? Yeah. Basically, the launch was sick. It could have been bigger, could have been better.
Yeah.
But it's going to get bigger and better as the brand
We're still
matures
super
more.
early. Like this is we're like judging this at a super early level. So hopefully I come back to this video in half a year and be like, holy crap, there's Beyblades at Home Depot.
Yeah, exactly. Like we were totally wrong or something, right? So I imagine that in Beyblade Burst days, like during the promotion of like pre-dual layer, it probably wasn't that big either, right?
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Still keep in mind, this is very early. We just had very high hopes, that's all, because they were pushing it so hard, right? And yeah, overall it's still fun. Let's talk about the products though. Like, what do we think about the new bays, like Multi's Bay and stuff like that? Because we got that now.
I think it did a better job than the first generation of Burst. Definitely way more exciting. And I think the whole like excitement / fairness of the game has increased, like compared to the first generation of Burst.
Yeah.
Because the first 4 Burst bays were just so underwhelming.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah, I agree. The explosiveness of the gameplay of Beyblade X is like next level. Like I can't even imagine what it's going to be like in 2-3 seasons.
True.
Crazy.
Yeah.
They'll have to like increase the size of the stadium or something because the impact that we're getting from these early battles and stuff is unreal.
Yeah, I feel like it's really a combination of Metal Fight plus Burst plus some learns from Plastic Generation.
Yeah, so overall, Beyblade X has so much potential. It's got so much potential to be like the biggest brand, like the biggest Sega out of all of them.
Yeah.
So I hope that Takara Tomy really steps it up and like promotes it even more and stuff.
Yeah.
The anime will be out in a few months, and so that's vital, right? You need to have an anime with your product.
Yeah, I think we'll see it before November, around that time.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. So speaking of Multi's Bay, we did read the manga as well, and the storyline seems a little bit strange, but at the same time, really like the art style, and I think it will get better over time. Yeah. It's completely different than the storyline of Burst and Metal Fight, so like I haven't seen in the previous generation where like a blader would pull out a case, Beyblade collection case, right? So that's new. It's like a different world.
Yeah, that really threw me off because like I was there the day before the Beyblade launch, right? And so like that's when Koro came out. And so I grabbed the second issue of the manga and I was like, why is she whipping out this case? And like she just gave this case or opened up the case and gave a bay to Bird. I was like, what? This guy's just like accepting bays and stuff. Like it's kind of weird for like a main character to like receive his main bay by just like randomly selecting one from another blader. But you know, I'm sure it's kind of like called out to him, you know, like he's gonna have a bond with it. That's why he's like, oh, I picked that one out of all of them.
And so far, I haven't seen any like avatar, like the monsters pop out of the bay, like stuff like that.
That's
like,
true.
Maybe in this world, it's not about that. Maybe it's more of like a collector and battling aspect, especially with a new manga artist, right? Like previously, gambling storyline, right? Lots of excitement around the game style, gameplay aspect, and being able to like show that the game can be exciting. It's like translating over that to Beyblade.
Maybe. Yeah, the art style is unreal. Like I cannot wait for the anime to come out. It's gonna be so sick.
All right, so let's move on over to our comments. So starting with one from Kyle. He says, I really like how we're finally getting a girl blader after having nearly none in the whole Burst series, but I wish she only used one Beyblade. I don't think it's necessary having any character use more than one partner Bay. Yeah, that's kind of what we talked about. It's like we're confused of how this works because it's always been that one character has one Bay and then eventually evolves, or maybe it's like a heirloom, right?
Yeah.
Like
like Dragoon being passed down and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. But now it's more like, oh, I bought my Bay at the store.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work?
It is very interesting because like it kind of reminded me of like Rashad, how he loved Valkyrie. He's like, yo, Valkyrie's the ultimate Beyblade, so I'm a swag vault.
Yeah.
And then he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna get my own now. And then got Greatest Raphael. It's like flip-flopping and like just picking up a new Beyblade whenever you want just feels weird too.
Yeah. But maybe it works.
Yeah, I don't know. Like that's the part that makes it feel more like sport. Like you're using strategy, customizing and like picking a different Bay.
Yeah.
But it removes like that whole Bay spirit piece that we're used to where it's like, yo, my partner in life is Valkyrie. Like I will never use another Bay. It's like, But then you have like this idol character that's just like, I'll toss out this one and use this one if I feel like it. So
and then it's like, oh yeah, you have no Bey, I'll pity you and give you a free one. Hell Scythe, here you go.
Like if she cherished Hell Scythe, like she wouldn't give it to some random newbie, right?
Yeah.
And so that part's that's got me thrown off too. So this one here was from Super Needy. This is on the Bey Hunt video that I did about a week ago. Says I grew up playing with the OG plastic gen, and Dronzer S was my very first Beyblade. It brings me joy to see that they still remade it on Beyblade X form. So this person is exactly that audience that they're trying to target with these remakes, right?
That the North American market don't even care about.
Yeah, it seems like.
Except for like 30,000 of you guys watching this video.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a handful of people that love these OG Beys and want them remade. So totally agree with you. Like I cannot wait to see that Drigger remake, because like Drigger's my boy, you know, and like obviously like your first Bey was like a Drasil, right? So like eventually they'll make that too.
Yeah.
But Kai was like the most popular character. So.
Yeah, but I know after getting the Burst anniversary sets, I'm actually over those redesigns. I want to see something new. I want to see like 0G Beys. Like we haven't seen that before. Which actually leads on to my next comment here from Prelexcarosis. Bro, don't make Beyblade X yet. They haven't done a 0G and Burst collaboration. So that's the thing with their crossovers, is like they don't pay attention to some of the Beys. They only care about certain ones. Like they always favor Kai. It's like Pokemon always have Charizard in there. All they care about is Charizard.
Fair.
Right?
Yeah. It's like, is Dronzer and is Kai like washed now, you know? Clearly not, because we have people like Super 90 that are hella into it, right? They really like Dronzer S. So
yes, but still, like, give us some variety. Put some 0G Beys in there, even though, you know, like, not many people might want them, but...
Or even, like, remake a Burst Bey right off the bat. Like, you know, bring back like Victory Valkyrie or something like that in X form, because you have to remember that the generation that is, like, currently growing up or whatever, they're leaving Burst.
You gotta cater to everybody.
Yeah, you gotta cater to everyone, right? And like your most recent audience was the Burst fans.
So you gotta like, bring them over too.
Exactly.
Right?
So why not remake Burst first, right?
For sure.
So very interesting. Goes to show that Takara Tomy is really targeting their super, like not super old, but like their super dedicated fan base in Japan. Because like the Japan fans, the Japan Bladers really love Plastic Gen. So I feel like it's catering to them mostly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I went over my comment.
Yeah. So the next one I have is from Kiyoshiro Clips. This was also, I think, on the Bey Hunt video, saying BeybladeGeeks always got our back in almost literally every new Bey generation. Thank you so much for going as far as going to Japan, and it's reasonable knowing it's the new generation of Beyblade. No problem, because like we go to Japan, we love Japan, so we go whenever we can.
Yeah.
And like this just so happened to align with like a lot of, you know, Beyblade drops and stuff like that, so it was great.
Yeah, we love the culture and we love the food, we love traveling. So it's not just Beyblade that we're going for, and that's the reason why sometimes like you see me going, and sometimes you see you going, sometimes you see both of us going at the same time. I think now after the restrictions, we're gonna be in Japan and in Asia and in other countries. I heard there are some good Bey hunting spots in like Taiwan and like Singapore, right? It's like, those are my like next spots I want to hit up.
Definitely.
But, you know, we'll see.
All right, this last comment is from Cyberbays. They say, who else is jealous because we have to wait for delayed shipping? So my question to you guys is like, how is everything? Like now that you're seeing this BBG Talks, it's probably been like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Have you guys gotten your Beys yet?
Yeah.
Like, are you still jealous? Are you still waiting? Or are you
probably not.
enjoying?
But, there's definitely shortages though. Like they didn't make that much. Seems like a lot of people are struggling with getting stock.
I'm not surprised because not every store had everything.
Even the first day, you were like, it was out already pretty much when you went.
The first day when I went to Yodobashi, like my first stop, there was no Dronzers. And so I had to go to that big camera to get the Dronzer, right? Yeah. And so like stock does seem pretty low. And they are allowing only one product per person. So I actually had to line up multiple times to get copies for each of us because like the Beys also break a lot, right? So it's too risky to like go Bey hunt on a big launch like this and only buy one of each.
Right.
Yeah, especially like when we have 2 users, like sometimes we might need to do like Dronzer versus Drawn Sword or something. We need to have multiple.
Yeah, and depending on where we film, sometimes like we don't have it handy on us, and like having extra is always nice.
And that's the thing, like we're expanding our sets now as well. Like we mentioned this a while back too, right? So because like this specific set's like full of burst and metal fight, all this stuff, and like we need to expand. Like we're running out of space because this is like the third Sega that we're doing this channel on, right? So like now we have to expand to more filming locations. And so we need more space and we need more bays because we need to have bays everywhere now.
Yes.
So, but anyways, yes, like stock is low, it seems.
But it's all good. I'm sure you have it now and you will enjoy it nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know down in the comment section. Which bays did you guys buy? You know, did you buy everything? Is there one particular product that you really like that you want to get?
What we learned from Burst is the first bit, it's just like a trial period. You know, if you want to get in early, you can, but don't need to buy every single one.
Yeah. Like chances are by the time the next generation or next season comes out, it'll overshadow this early stuff very quickly.
Yeah.
Right?
Unless you have somebody to have tournaments with early right now, then yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depends on how hardcore you are.
Yeah. All right, so that is basically it for this BBG Talks episode. It's a very long episode. I think we've been rambling for a very long time now, so we'll end it here. But once again, let us know down in the comment section what you guys think of the Beyblade launch. It's been a little bit now, and are you enjoying the products? Okay? All right, we'll see you in the next one. As always,
peace out.